Video repair shop on the corner. So it's just the next one over to the left, and that is Madryn Street. So if you look along Madryn Street, on the left hand side of the road, fifth house along, which really sadly is the house that's all boarded up.